chance. Driving into town, can't see or hear. Kill communication, stepping off the grid just to let me know. So many got my time. Being for lovers winter freeze, summer's burn, shut down on his knees. Take what you learn, have what you need. If there's any more that I think of me, could you feel no different? After half a week, it'll be enough. Not a chance. It'll be enough. So many got my time.
Welcome back to the Halftime Podcast, where we talk about all things sports. I'm Owen,
I'm Drew. How are y'all doing today?
and welcome back after not being here since June. The last time we were here, what happened? The Bengals weren't even considered Super Bowl contending team. Logan Paul had not fought in Floyd Mayweather. Jake Paul did not fight Tyron Woodley. What else? The World Series was not even happening. What else?
A bunch of UFC.
Yeah, Connor lost to Dustin. But
Yeah, it's
that-
like right about.
And here's the deal, and we're going to talk about why we've been gone for almost a year.
Pretty almost.
So I've been really busy with school. Probably you too, Drew.
Yeah.
I was doing the movie thing for a while. And also, your boy is now a star track athlete. So, that's what's been taking up my time. Drew, where you been?
I mean,
'Cause
a lot of
Here's,
school.
here's the deal, and I'm going to bring this up, but I'm going to bash you a little bit.
Oh, here
but-
we go.
So we've been planning a comeback for like months. It's just
About probably like
6 months.
Yeah, like 6 months.
But like whenever we would try to do the episodes, somebody wouldn't show up.
It's not that I wouldn't show up. It's just I would plan something for the time that we're doing the episode.
Yeah,
and then I would just
exactly.
completely forget
And I'd
that
be
we're
like,
doing
bro,
the
what are you
episode.
doing?
Yeah.
And we just want to clarify, like, we understand that we made that announcement of Andre like almost like a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Probably.
He was supposed to be on this episode. We considered him, but he never got back to me. So, hopefully in next week's episode, which that's what goes into my next topic. So this is going to be a weekly thing now. Well, we're going to at least try.
We took our time. We're like, you know what? We're going to do weekly stuff.
We're going to try to do weekly. Hopefully every Thursday I would like to do. Speaking of that, I have a track meet Thursday. So just pre-record it Wednesday. So, okay, we're cool. All right, cool.
Yeah. I'll get it.
So we'll have to, we film on Wednesdays anyway, so it's fine. So that's another thing. If anything happens, like post, whenever we post, we film this in a day in advance. So if we miss something big, then it will be next week's podcast, whenever it happens. So, or I'll just post it on the Instagram. Like if something massive happens, then I'll just post it on Instagram.
Which means
Oh!
the Instagram will be a lot more active.
Yeah, a lot more active also. And then also about a month ago, people were seeing a little hints of halftime coming back because I got Twitter for halftime. So I didn't really tell you what I was doing because I've been slowly over the past 2 months planning a comeback, seriously. So yeah. let's talk about stuff that everybody else wants to hear about. They don't want to keep hearing us blah 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 about stuff. I mean, cool. We gave you some updates, but I think you want to hear what you heard in the intro and all other 7 episodes of this great podcast that is finally back. Which, just give a round of applause. We've actually made it.
Finally.
Which actually, funny fact before we get to the news. So we did an episode, I'd want to say back in November, maybe December-ish. And I had half of the footage and then I lost the rest of it. I have no idea where it went. So then we were like, oh, we'll just refilm it.
Because we made a 2-part, remember? We did the 2-part thing.
Yeah, and then it just never happened. We were like, okay, whatever.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that was my fault, but it's okay. But we're in the present now, so let's get started.
Let's do this.
Okay, this is a new thing at halftime. I've kind of started doing it more to keep it more organized and to keep a lot more information here. I got notes now.
Both got notes. We all got notes.
Which I think is better because I was just doing it off the top of my head and then I would forget important stuff. So.
Or we'd be looking at our phones,
looking at our phones, exactly. I don't want to do that. Okay, here we go. First halftime episode back in 11 months, almost a year. Wild.
Let's get these standings up here. Let's go.
Let's get ready to rumble. All right, starting off with the MLB, which it's very entertaining right now. Very competitive. So Reed, I hope that I said this guy's last name right. Detmers, I think I said it right. Throws a no-hitter.
Say it one more time.
But,
it kind of cut out. Say it again.
Reed Detmers.
There you go.
I think I probably butchered it. It's okay. He threw a no-hitter against the Rays. He became the youngest pitcher in Angels franchise history since. Oh no, he is the youngest one at 22 years old, and he tied somebody. The last person to do it at his age was in 2006. So pretty crazy.
Sometime.
Joe Kelly will be out of rehab. He was just in rehab in the minor leagues for about 2 weeks pitching after an injury. He'll be in the starting rotation, hanging out with those guys starting today. I don't know exactly when he'll be in the rotation, pitching in the MLB, but he'll be hanging out with the major league guys. And then new thing that I think we definitely needed, because this is why I've been, preparing for this for a long time. I kind of needed to fix some stuff up because I think we need to be a little more general. I think we're too blah when we say stuff. We just say scores and that's really it. Yeah. And news. I feel like we need to add a little more to it. So I did the standings for the MLB, and we're gonna do this every week. We're gonna, we're just gonna see what happens. So in the AL East, which is where we live, so at number 1 we have the Yankees at 22-8. Okay, we have the Rays at 18-13, which is pretty good record. We have the Blue Jays at 17-15. We have the Orioles at 13-7, which they're in 4th place, and at 5th place, which is last, we have the Red Sox, which is 11-19. Okay, that is the AL East. Best team is the Yankees at 22-8. That's 1, 2. The Rays 18-13. Blue Jays 17-15. Orioles 13-17. Red Sox 11-19. AL Central, you have the Twins at first with 18-12. You have the White Sox with 15-14. You have the Guardians at 15-15. Could do better. The Royals at 19-18, and the Tigers at 19-21.
The Guardians, all the new names.
Here's the deal: the Guardians are actually a good team this year, but they just
that logo.
They make small mistakes. That's what they do. Which we'll get. We'll do a little recap on all the teams when we get to the scores of the FA's game. Which technically is going to be 2 days old for you guys, but for us, blah, blah, blah. And then at the AL West, we have the Angels that are the best team in the AL West at 21-11. You have the Astros at 19-11. You have the Mariners at 14 and 18. You have the Rangers at 12 and 16, and you have the Athletics at 12 and 19. And Drew, you are up with
All right,
the NL teams.
For the NL East, we got the Mets 21 and 10. We got the Marlins 14 and 17. The Phillies 14 and 17. Braves 14 and 17, and the Nationals at 10 and 21. So that the NL East is like
When you get to the
small
Central, when you get to the Central, and when you get to 5, we'll talk for a minute. Okay.
So the NL Central teams, we got the Brewers at 20 and 12, Cardinals at 16 and 13, the Pirates at 13 and 17, Cubs 11-19, and the Reds 7 and 24.
Okay. I'm gonna stop here. So the Reds.
Oh my God.
Here's why they're doing so bad, and I'm gonna explain this right now because Drew, I don't think you understand it.
Go ahead.
Okay, so back when the lockout happened, so everybody couldn't get traded and whatever. So the Reds, the owners, made a really great decision in trading all of their best players to get some money and good trades, which they didn't. Okay, they traded Nick Castellanos, they traded Jesse Winker, and they traded what's his name? Eugenio Suarez. Two to the Mariners, so Jesse Winker and Eugenio Suarez, and then Nick Castellanos is a Philly. So they got rid of 3 of their best players, and they're doing really good in their new teams. They're pretty good. Which left Joey Votto, and that's really they got rid of Sonny Gray. He's a Twin now. That's a good pitcher. They do still have Luis Castillos, but he's injured. He just came back off the IL, and he got blown up the other day.
Mm-hmm.
But the Reds just got rid of all their valuable players, and that's why they're doing so poorly. And I think the owners should consider selling the team because it's just rough management. Like I don't know what they're doing. They made nothing really crazy in the trade deadline.
No big changes.
Yeah, no big changes to the team after they got rid of so much. You'd think they would bring in somebody like big. But they didn't. They got rid of everybody. So just want to talk about that quick, but you can keep going.
All right, so we're gonna take a quick, brief, 5-second break, and we'll just be back in 1 second.
If there's any thought that I think of me for a little support, out of time I need, it'll be enough.
All right, so we're back with the NL West. With the Dodgers at 20 and 9, the Padres at 20 and 12, the Giants at 19 and 12, Diamondbacks 17 and 15, and last the Rockies 16-15.
So I will say right now, the NL West is the most competitive division in all of baseball right now. I mean, if you just heard those scores, I mean, the Dodgers are the second best team in baseball, only behind the Yankees, which they're only 2.5 games back, which I think they did lose today. At the time of recording this, they lost today.
Against who?
Pirates. But the Yankees, like I said, I think now they have a 22-8 record or something like that, and then the Dodgers have a 22 and I'm pretty sure it's 9 record. The Padres, I mean, they're really close. They're only 3 games back, and then it's just a very competitive division, and nobody's really that far behind. I mean, the Rockies need some work to do, but I mean, it's not really that crazy.
No, not at all.
It's good. It's a good matchup. The Rockies and Diamondbacks were awful last year.
Yeah, terrible.
As we remember.
And to be honest, the Rockies starting out this season already.
Yeah, they started the season off really well. They
haven't been bad.
They've cooled down a little bit. I mean,
but they started out
here's the deal.
Pretty strong.
Here's the deal. It's early in the season.
Exactly.
I think the Red Sox are gonna. I'm gonna throw you a bone right now. I think the Red Sox are gonna recover.
That's what I'm gonna say too. I'm agreeing with you on that.
I don't know necessarily if they'll make the playoffs.
I don't know, not this year. I think this is not their year, but I think they're definitely going to do better than how they're doing right now because they're.
I think, but here's the deal. I think they could be a potential wild card team.
Could be.
I don't know. It's like
Not like a last year situation though.
no, it's not like we're the Yankees and like the Red Sox and the
That was
Blue
an
Jays
awesome. That was
and
awesome.
the Mariners and like all those people like kind of were like all clumped up and then
Yeah.
it was like a wild situation. I have a slim chance of the Red Sox making like the playoffs regularly.
All right,
But-
everybody, listen. Owen's saying his things when he predicts his things. So if he's right, you got to give it.
But
to him.
here's the deal. I said Djokovic would win MVP last year, and I was right about that. Which we'll talk about. We'll talk about him later. But I think the Red Sox will definitely. Well, no, not definitely. They have a very low chance of making playoffs regularly, but I think they do have a chance of making the wild card. I think that's a possibility. I mean, if the Orioles make the playoffs, then like
Yikes.
baseball is an interesting sport, let's just say. But all right, so we're gonna do scores. I'm gonna go till the Orioles Cardinals game, and then you can start at Astros and Twins.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So obviously the big game that I want to talk about, the Yankees versus Blue Jays, 6-3 winners. The Yankees.
That game was awesome. I gotta be honest.
So unfortunately I don't have Yes Network because I have Hulu, and they took Yes Network off of Hulu, so like I can't watch Yankee games usually. They're only like on MLB. But I was just, I was looking through the score throughout the school day, and I was like, damn, tie game. And it's like, here's the deal. Like, oh no, I'm talking about today's game.
Oh.
During the school day. This was a night game. My friend was actually at this game. And they keep tying. It's like the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays are a good team. Like, this is the thing with the Yankees, and I know you're not a Yankee fan, but you got to admit this. They are not, they can be bad teams and they can be good teams. Like the Blue Jays is a top contender team. I think they're definitely making it to the playoffs this year, and I think they're going to go far this year. I think they have a very strong team. I just think they're in a little bit of a slump right now.
Yeah, I can agree with you with that. I think that they're gonna. They started off the season pretty nice.
The Yankees are red hot, but this is what's going to happen. They do this every single goddamn year. They start off hot, and then eventually they're going to streak out a little bit and, kind of cool down, and then they'll go back up and they'll be fine. I think they're definitely a lock for the playoffs, but let's get back to the game, and then we'll talk about this. So it was, I think it was the ninth inning.
It was 9.
It was ninth inning, runners on first and second, I think, and Judge blast one to left field to walk it off, which is actually, fun fact, his first walk-off ever in his career as a Yankee, which was cool. He blasted that one. That was a beautiful, beautiful home run. And he hit the nice gritty as his little celebration before he, went with the boys. But yeah, it's the Yankee game. Good game, good pitching war. I did think, there was a little bit like sloppy pitching at sometimes, but, they figured it out at the end. The Rockies versus the Giants. 9-2. The winners were the Giants. The Giants really just dominate the Rockies pretty much every time they play them. The Giants have a more solid team, so I kind of knew, and I knew the pitching kind of got blown up a little bit that day. The Mariners and Phillies 5-4, a close game. Winner was the Mariners. The Mariners, they were tied also, and then I think this might have been a walk-off also. I'm not sure, though. I was just copying these down quick. But yeah. This one hurts me a little bit. The Diamondbacks versus the Marlins. I'm a big fan of Marlins because I love Jazz Chisholm. He's like one of my favorite players because I love Bahamian players. It's like a big obsession of mine because like I go to the Bahamas every year. Oh, yeah. And I've been collecting Jazz Chisholm's baseball cards a lot right now. I got a big collection of them right now, and it's growing. But that's off topic. The Diamondbacks beat the Marlins 9-3, which hurt me. But Jazz is a superstar, so I'm not worried about it. Padres versus the Cubs, 5-4 winner. Padres. The Padres are doing really good this year. With Tatis coming back eventually soon. I think they're going to be an even scarier team. Manny Machado's on fire right now. The pitching's really good. I do think Clevenger, when he gets back up to full speed, then I think eventually, the Padres are going to definitely make the playoffs this year. I don't think they're going to do what they did last year and just fizzle out at the end of the year. So yeah, and then the White Sox versus the Guardians, 4-1 winner White Sox. The Guardians did take the series, but this was a good game. I think Lou Bob hit a nice home run in this game, and the Rangers versus the Royals, 5-4 winner Rangers. I think Corey Seager had 2 home runs in this game. First multi-home run game for Corey Seager, so congrats to him. And yeah, those Orioles. I'm not even talking about. Wait, what? I'm talking about the Rangers and Royals. Wow, I'm losing it.
We're a little rusty. We're a little rusty. It's fine.
Yeah, a little rusty. And then the Orioles and Cardinals, 5-3 winner Orioles. Fun fact about this one. This is the first time the Orioles have visited the Cardinals Park, which was new. The Cardinals' new park was built 17 years ago. So. Yeah, they're definitely the last team to visit the Cardinals stadium. Maybe. I think so. I don't know. And then finally, the Astros and Twins, winner Astros. I mean, this is a great divisional matchup. The Twins, right? Twins. Are they still? No, they're not in the same division. Okay, but I mean, they're 2 solid AL teams. The Astros are coming back for that World Series after they lost last year. I feel like they're really hot. I mean, without Carlos Correa, they've been struggling, but what's his name? Jeremy Pena has been really good for them as the replacement shortstop. He's got a lot of power, and he's decent on the glove side.
I'll start up now.
Yeah.
So the Red Sox versus the Braves, and we got a 9-4 game. Winner Red Sox, which is really exciting for us Red Sox fans. With the Mets versus the Nationals. The winner, Mets right now are on fire.
Mets are on fire. Like New York and
the New York teams are.
California teams and New York teams are just on fire right now.
Yeah, very good right now.
I heard a little rumor. Hold on. DeGrom is getting ready to come back. He threw some pitches. I heard recently. So I mean, the Mets when DeGrom comes back, they're going to be even scarier.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the Mets are 1,000% playoff bound. I don't think they're gonna mess it up. I think they're gonna go far this year. Here's my hot take right now. I think the Mets are going to the World Series. I'm gonna say it right now. I think the Mets are going to the World Series.
With who?
Here's what my prediction.
It's too early.
No. Here's what my prediction was. I said the Mets are gonna go, and I said the Blue Jays were gonna go. Okay.
1 second, Owen.
But
I have a quick problem going on right
now. Okay.
All right, there we go. Sorry, I think you're
okay. That's what my early that was prediction. That was my early predictions. I'm still going with the Blue Jays versus the Mets for my pick. I think the Dodgers are scary contenders, but I think they'll fold like last year. So yeah. Okay, so I think the new quarterback class, I don't think anybody's going to start this year. That's just my opinion.
For what? In general?
I just think in general. For the first year. But yeah, I think that wraps up the NFL portion. So let's go to the NBA. So. I'll do how about you do scores and then I'll do news. Okay?
Yeah.
Actually, no. You do the Heat the scores, and then I'll do the Mavericks and Suns. Okay.
Okay.
So NBA news. Bing, bing, bong. Ja Morant will be out with Ja Morant will be out with a bone bruise in his right knee for the remaining series against the Warriors. They said it's not confirmed, but most likely he'll be out. The Warriors, as we're recording, they're playing. They have a 3-1 lead. I think the Grizzlies are not going to survive the Warriors, in my opinion, and especially without Ja Morant, and that takes a big part of the Grizzlies scoring. So I think, unfortunately, the Grizzlies are going home tonight. But also, Djokovic won back-to-back MVPs this year. So let's congratulations to the greatest team of all time, the Denver Nuggets.
Oh yeah. Wait. We made the joke on the podcast.
Yeah,
We did.
I know. I remember. Okay, that's my favorite moment on that podcast. I just love the name, the Denver Nuggets.
It's great.
And then you can talk about that score for the Heat.
Alrighty. So Heat versus the 76ers. 120 to 85. The winner, Heat. Jimmy Butler dropped a 23-point. He took the lead 3-2.
Jimmy Butler and the Heat have been dominating. I think they're going to take the series, even though Joel Embiid, James Harden are dropping some good points. Tyrese Maxey. I think they are. I don't know. I just think the Heat are going for revenge. Jimmy Butler is a great player. I think he's underrated. He should have won.
Underrated.
Huh? Jimmy Butler, I think, is underrated. I think he is.
Hang on again.
I think Jimmy Butler's underrated. You know what? Going the classic style.
Oh my God. I remember that.
Yeah, we're doing it. It worked better. So I think Jimmy Butler is a very underrated player, like I said.
I think he's well rated.
No, I think he's underrated. Because here's the deal. The bubble, I don't even count the bubble championship. I don't count the Lakers win. I don't. I think that was fake. Okay? I think the Heat played very well in that. Tyler Hero was great. Also, I forgot to mention him. Tyler Hero is a great, very underrated player. I know his card values are like crap, but it's fine. We're not talking about cards. We're talking about but I think the Heat are going to just take it and then they're going to move on. Same with the Warriors, and I hope the Bucks are going to make it because we want the Bucks back to back. I love my boy Giannis Antetokounmpo and all those people, Chris Middleton, Brooke Lopez, a bunch of other people. Thaddeus Antetokounmpo, I love all those people. If you don't know, I love the Bucks. But yeah. Anyways, let's get to the next NBA team. We have the Suns versus the Mavs, which we have my second favorite player, Luka Doncic. Unfortunately, the Suns took 110-80 win over the Mavs. Devin Booker and Luka both had 28 points. Suns take a 3-2 lead. I think they're playing tomorrow. So it's a great matchup. Luka and Devin Booker don't like each other. I mean, I think no, they're not in the same class. I'm thinking of Trae Young. It's great rivalry. I think they're two really good teams. I think the Suns are going to come up on top. I think they'll get stopped by the Warriors, though. The Warriors I have as finals, and I said the Bucks and the Warriors are going to be finals. So yeah. All right, let's do MMA. This is a big one. So I actually put not one of these things are not UFC, which I'm going to give it to you because I'm not butchering another name on this podcast today. I'll do all the UFC 267, the recap from this weekend. You do to Kayla Harrison to Donald Cerrone, and then I'll take half of what's below it, and then you do the rest. Okay, so I'll do the recap. You do Kayla Harrison, Jan Blachowicz, Donald Cerrone. I'll do Adesanya Volkanovski, and then you do Strickland and Tate. I'll do O'Malley, and then you can take Paulo Costa, Amanda Nunes. I'll take Moreno. You can do Daniel Cormier, and then I'll do the O2 stuff. And then you can do all the boxing if you want.
Sure.
Actually, no, I'll talk about Canelo, and you can do everything else. Okay. All right. I'll remind you when we get to boxing. Though.
All right, let's get it from the start of this MMA with, your favorite.
No. I start.
I know. I'm just saying. Your favorite.
This is my boy, my favorite fighter in the UFC. He was the first ever fighter I watched in the UFC. When Michael Chandler came to the UFC and fought Dan Hooker back at UFC, what card was this? I know it was Poirier and McGregor too, back in January of 2021. I don't know exactly the card, but it was a great card. And I just was like, I loved Michael Chandler from that moment. I'm like, ooh, I like this dude. And then I was like, I remember the Charles Oliveira fight when he got the title shot. I remember I'm like, wait a minute, I know this guy. I'm like, oh, I'm definitely buying this pay-per-view. And then I watched it at your house, and we had a little tradition going, watching all the Oliveira fights.
No, listen. We took a little break. We'll be back with the next one. No, we have our next
Oliveira when he goes for the which we'll talk about in a minute when we get to his fight. But Michael Chandler beat. Unfortunately, this is sad because I actually really like Tony Ferguson. He knocked him out by second round knockout, by vicious knockout. Like, he was out cold. It was a front kick. He said that he didn't train for it either. I mean, it was sad.
Let's be straight honest. I don't think he's trained for it because
that's just like not a thing you train for.
Yeah, you don't train for that exact kick. Like,
yeah,
no.
And I mean, it was sad because Tony looked great in the first round. I mean, he dropped
First round he did really good.
He dropped Chandler, but then Chandler he went for a takedown, or no, I forgot what they call it. He just literally threw him to the ground, basically.
It would be under a takedown. It would be under a takedown.
And just grounded and pounded him. I mean, Tony looked great in that first round. I mean, 17 seconds in, he just front kicked it dead. I mean, he was out cold for 3 to 4 minutes. I mean, he landed straight on his face. I mean, thank God he's still alive because that was brutal.
All right, you know what we're going to do? Pull up a picture of Tony Ferguson, what he looked like when he.
Oh yeah,
so
totally.
Put that in.
I have the picture. I'll send it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was sad. Which, the update we got now is he's all good. He's cleared. He's home. He's with his family right now. So I'm glad that he's okay. That was just a devastating thing. But I mean, Chandler.
Remember the Tony Ferguson Bendil Danush?
Yeah, that was fight, so bad.
That fight was more frustrating in my opinion than the Chandler fight, because at least the Chandler fight was fun to watch. But that Tony Ferguson
that was pain to watch also, because like I said, I love
okay, here's the thing. Another thing.
Let's wrestle. This
is the thing. I'm a wrestling fan, but when you're wrestling and you're not doing anything and you're just standing there holding, like, it's like we're just sitting there waiting for something to happen. When there's good wrestling with like the bunch of back-to-back submissions, ground and pounds, that's what I like. But when it's just like standing there and then like they try to like move positions like once every
you did get a nice
5 minutes, it's just awful,
But yeah, I mean, Chandler never fails on the mic either. I mean,
oh no,
those call outs were beautiful. I mean, I love that he did the Oliveira and Gaethje. Like, I mean, I'd love to see both of those rematches. I think it's great. I think Chandler does not deserve a title shot yet. I will say, even though I love the dude, I love you, Chandler, and I want you on the show. But I think he needs one more fight for the title shot. I think, in my opinion, he needs one more.
And would it be against Oliveira? Would we see?
No, I think we see the loser, if they do set this up, Dariush and Islam. I think loser of that, so whoever wins that fight is going to go fight for the title, okay? If they're going to make it.
Yeah.
And whoever wins that fight is number one contender, which I'm going to think it's Islam. I don't know.
It's Islam. I
don't want Islam, but I hope Beneil Dariush wins because I don't like Islam, as we know.
I don't mind Islam, but I hate Dariush.
I mean, Conor McGregor, that was a great call out. I got one name on my mind, Conor McGregor. I mean, that was just beautiful.
I got one dude on my mind, Conor McGregor. You gotta come back and fight somebody. I am the most entertaining lightweight on the planet, but I want to up the stakes, Conor. I want you at your biggest, I want you at your baddest, and I want you at 170 this summer, this fall, this winter. Holler at your boy. God bless. I'll see you at the top.
Michael Chandler, ladies and gentlemen.
I literally have been saying it for the past 4 days in my head. I literally in
It
school.
was a good call out.
I go in school today. I go, Conor McGregor, and some kid looked at me and they go, I'm like, sorry. I'm not even lying to you. I legit said that, and I didn't even know I said it out loud. But let's go talk about the worst title fight in history. Rose Namajunas loses her title to Carl Esparza by split.
That fight was the most. Okay, I'm sorry, but when you're sitting there just going like this and just like going like this and just staring and be like, all right, who would want to watch that? The crowd is booing. The commentate the booth, they didn't like it.
Yeah,
It was
Dana
just-
didn't even like it.
No one liked it. It was an awful fight. It was one of the worst. Yeah, it was terrible.
So I was the one who was watching it live because I was doing halftime coverage. Well, Drew was, I don't know what he was doing. I mean, I was calling him, updating him about stuff, but I mean,
I was watching Wade.
yeah, that's what you're doing. Shout out Wade, boy. You know what? We should get him on the pod.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
We should actually. I could get that to happen also. You know what? After this episode, I'm gonna work something out. Okay. But Rose just, you know, I don't know what her game plan was. I really don't. Like, I mean, was she just expecting the takedown? Because I know Carla Esparza was on a great 5-fight win streak. She's been in wars, but she's just a wrestler. Like, I think Rose thought that she was going for a takedown, but Carla never really went for a takedown. She
was playing too deep. She was going for too much defense.
Rose was great in defense, though, but they didn't give her points for that, which I actually did think was a little ridiculous. Yes, I do agree Rose lost that fight because Carla, I was watching MMA Hour today, and I was like, wow, I actually agree with this. Even though I don't like Carla Esparza, I agreed with the statement. I mean, she was the one trying to fight. I mean, but Rose just, I mean, literally they were just like this the entire time. And, you know, when eventually Carla got the takedown, you know, she only had it for like 3 seconds. And I mean, it was a bad fight, man. And I feel bad because I love Thug Rose. I've talked about Thug Rose on this pod before. And, you know, it's sad. And, you know, Trevor Whitman, I also feel bad for because he went 0 for 2 that night, Gaethje and Thug Rose. And it just was upsetting. And, you know, I feel like the strawweight division is, I mean, it's in a good place right now because you have Joanna how do you say her name? Joanna Jędrzejczyk or something like that.
I think it's.
And then Zhang Weili fighting in June.
Wait, let me see.
Yeah, Joanna Jędrzejczyk, I think. Sorry.
If that's not, it's probably wrong, but.
She's fighting Zhang Weili in Singapore next month.
Oh, that girl.
Yeah, the one who had the fight of the year last year, the girl one. I think
it was a good fight.
I think the strawweight division's in good hands. I think Joanna is going to take the title, in my opinion. I think she's going to win against Zhang Weili in the rematch. Yeah, Charles Oliveira. Let's get to some more exciting stuff. Charles Oliveira beats Justin Gaethje by submission in the second round. I mean, this was a great fight to start it off. I mean,
let's be honest.
This was nuts, man. Like, I was like ready for a 25-minute fight. Like, whatever. I was getting my pillow.
Was ready. I knew it was going to be stopped. I didn't expect it to
I
be
knew it was
stopped
like I was thinking round 3, but like I thought I had some time to chill, and I literally was getting like my pillow ready and, you know, blanket. And then I hear Rogan, oh! I'm like, what? I drop my pillow and I see Gaethje's on the ground. I'm like, what the hell? And then I drop my pillow and like I literally have my eyeballs just staring at the screen and like just they're playing so like I don't know what they were doing that first round. They were crazy. I mean, it only went to the first round, but you know, it was wild, man. Like Gaethje got dropped, Oliveira got dropped. Gaethje got dropped. Oliveira got dropped. I mean, it was just a wild sequence. And also, here's the deal. Gaethje got the knockdowns in combinations. When he first landed his first combination, which was his knockdown against Oliveira, he actually got him good. And he started bleeding a lot. But, you know, then he was swinging wild. And then, you know, it wasn't combinations. And then he was just fighting like weird. And then, he even slipped on one of his punches. Like he fell down to the ground. And, when you're throwing those bombs, you're going to lose energy. And Oliveira jumped on that opportunity, knocked him down, and then he got on his back. And, with Oliveira, he's the scariest person on your back. You should never do that. And, he got submitted. I mean, Charles Oliveira, even though he didn't make weight, I still see him as the champion.
Oh, easily.
I still see
He's
him.
so much better than I thought.
Yeah,
When
exactly.
I saw him go with Chandler, I'm like,
Oh, I thought Chandler was going to knock him out.
I was like, what is this dude? I saw him. When I saw him, I was like, oh, he's like an old fighter. He's been around for a while, and he's
Yeah.
been like he's
He was
one of,
like
he's like
featherweight.
when I first heard him, I thought he was like a kind of Donald Strong kind of guy. Like
Yeah.
not like exactly like him, just like in age wise. Like he's not doing so good. Like I don't know, but I was completely wrong with that. He's an amazing UFC fighter at the moment. I think if he keeps going how it is, could potentially
He's the
be one of
scariest wrestler in the UFC right now.
easily.
Islam, sorry.
Yeah.
But
he's
only being one top 10 opponent, which is Dan Hooker of all people. Even though I love you, Dan Hooker, I like Dan Hooker a lot. He's just one of those people who's like a tune-up fight. Like you need Dan Hooker to get to the title or title.
I agree.
That's what I think. Like whatever. But all right, you're up, Kayla. John, Juan. Yeah. Okay. Jan. There you go.
Yawn.
All right. Start at Kayla.
Trying to find where it is on the page. What fight is this? Oh. Harrison
Mm-hmm.
beats. You give me this one, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Beats Marina Moko Matakina by unanimous decision.
So she's a PFL champ. She's bantamweight, I think. She's been calling out Cyborg and Nunez and Pena, like they all are like flacking her or whatever. I think she should definitely go fight them in a cross promotion type of deal. I know UFC won't do it. I think Cyborg and Kayla, I think, are the best option because I think Bellator would do cross promotion. Also, speaking of Bellator, Romero won this weekend, and Anthony Pettis. That was cool. Some old UFC stars, they both won. I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, you're up. Just want to mention that quick.
All right, so we got Jan
Blachowicz
versus Alex Rakic. Saturday, May 14th, which is this coming Saturday.
I think Jan's gonna take it.
I don't. Here's the thing about Jan. Old champion.
Polish power.
The Polish power.
Nope, I have Polish power. I'm Polish and I love Jan. But I love Glover also, so I don't want him to take Glover. But I think Yuri Prohaska's going to take the title anyways. But sorry, Glover. We're going to get you on this pod eventually. But
the old dude.
Yeah. 42-year-old champ.
I think of him as the dad of the UFC. Or the grandpa of the UFC. No, Donald Cerrone is the grandpa. Anyway.
Yeah. Cerrone.
I call him Cerrone. You know that. Anyway, Donald Cerrone versus Joe Luxon, which was, scheduled to
Lazone.
Lazone? Oh, I thought it was Luxon. Whatever. Lazone.
Where do you get the K from?
Oh, yeah. Or the
Keep
X. Anyway, Joe Lazone, like Dizone, is a rebucked fight because Cerrone got food poisoning, like literally.
Actually, I found out it was really bad. They were trying to give him IV and it didn't even work.
It was bad food poisoning right before the fight.
He got at a taco place, which I thought was kind of interesting. And I was just like, okay.
That's rescheduled the fight for the 18th, June 18th, the fight night.
I think my boy Kevin Holland might be on that card also.
We love Kevin Holland.
Because I think that's that card's in Texas, so I heard he's on that card possibly.
Yeah.
All right, And then Israel Adesanya versus Jared Cannonier for the middleweight title scheduled for UFC 276 on July 2nd. So this is International Fight Week, so they're going to put out some bangers. And all the ones I'm about to name are all in UFC 276 currently. Which, I mean, I think this is a great fight, and I'm going to put a little bit of an underdog take right now. I think Jared Cannonier is going to win this fight. I think the Killer Gorilla is going to win.
That's bold.
Mm-hmm. I think
All right, let me say this.
Jared Cannonier is going to win.
Israel, I mean, let's be honest. This is for me at least. When I think of champions, I think of him for the UFC. That's just my thing. I don't know why. Recently, every time
One
I
more
think of it,
popular.
yeah, one of the most popular for right now. But I don't know. The last fight against Robert Whittaker,
It was close.
close fight. People are saying that Robert got robbed.
Andre.
I don't necessarily that's what happened. I think it was a very close fight, but I think overall Adesanya won that one.
But here's the deal. I think I've been watching Israel's fights the past couple of pay-per-views. And he's just, in my opinion, he's going out there and sparring people. He's not really doing anything special. He's not knocking out people. He's just going to decisions, split decisions, whatever. Jared Cannonier is a tough opponent, and it's not a rematch, which I really like about it. Because I've watched the past two Vettori fights. I didn't watch the first Whittaker fight. I watched him do blah, 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 and all this stuff. But Jared Cannonier is a great fighter. Underrated, good middleweight, just beat Derek Brunson, just beat a couple other people. Like, you know, he's a scary dude. He's got good power. I don't know. I think he's going to win. And then my boy, Alexander Volkanovski, the dude I didn't even know who existed before September UFC 266 card.
I like him. I don't know.
When he fought Brian Ortega, I didn't even know who he was. I didn't know what the main event was. I watched that and I instantly became a fan. I'm like, I love this dude. And then when he fought Korean Zombie and absolutely obliterated him, I loved it. And then he's facing Max Holloway for the trilogy for the featherweight title. I think Volk's going to take the win. I know the second fight was controversial. That Max lost that fight. People think Max lost that fight. Volk thought he won, and other people thought Volk won. But I mean, this is going to decide the legacy of the featherweights as currently. Who's better, Volkanovski or Max Holloway? This is going to be a striking war, in my opinion. Max Holloway has had a great past two fights against Calvin Kattar, which was war. He's landed the most UFC strikes in history there. And then he had back-to-back performances with Rob Font also, which, I mean, Rob Font got destroyed in that fight also. That was war. And then and then Cheeto also, he just lost to Cheeto. I mean, this is wild. All right, you're up. Sean Strickland, Misha, and I'll do Sugar.
Sean Strickland versus Alex Pereira.
This is for UFC 276 also. I'm not really on the Sean Strickland hype train.
Heavyweight fight.
No, it's not heavyweight. This is middleweight.
Oh, it is? I thought it was heavyweight.
I think it's middleweight. Or
Well, it might be light heavyweight. Hold on.
No, it's not. Sean Strickland is not a light heavyweight. Sean Strickland. Wow, we're going to the phone for the first time.
Sorry.
Middleweight. I'm right.
All right, Owen. All right, so we got Sean Strickland versus Alex Pereira.
So I'm gonna say Strickland wins this fight because
I agree.
I've watched his past three fights and he's looked good, but I don't think he's near the title yet. I think he's close. I think he needs one more fight though. Well, no, he needs a really good performance in this next fight, and then I say.
All right, next up we got Misha Tate versus Lauren Murphy.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
So I really like Misha Tate, as we know this. She is my favorite women's fighter. Well, yeah, I'd say that. Hold on, I'm just looking up. Okay, all right, cool. Misha Tate, she's moving down in weight. She's going to flyweight, if I'm correct. Yeah. She's doing that because Pena just became champ. What happened?
No big deal. It's just
Oh,
go ahead,
all
keep going.
All right. Because Pena just became champ and she was teammates with her on the Ultimate Fighter, and she didn't want to take that opportunity away from her. She knows how hard Juliana Pena worked to get to the title, and I think that's very respectable. And she's facing Lauren Murphy, who just lost to Valentina Shevchenko in like a pretty bad fashion. I mean, she got brutally beat in that fight.
Who? Sorry.
Lauren Murphy.
Oh yeah, that was. Oof.
On the Nick Diaz card with Robbie Lawler.
Yeah, it was also.
Volk.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good matchup. I think whoever wins this is close to a title shot. I don't think necessarily that close. I think more on me.
I don't think Laura Murphy is ready. I'm sorry.
Like I said, more on Misha Tate's side. That's what I'm about to say. If she wins this fight, then she's definitely very close to the title.
Misha Tate, in my opinion, OG in UFC.
Yeah, she's an OG in the game. She fought Ronda Rousey, had that great rivalry.
That's awesome.
Fought some of the greats. I mean, lost her belt to Nunez and, retired for about 5 years and then came back and won against a 44-year-old and lost to a 33-year-old. But it's okay. You start somewhere.
You win, you lose. You win, you lose.
Yep. And then Sugar Shaw, Sean O'Malley versus Pedro Munoz. I think this is an awesome matchup.
I think it is too. Finally, not to be rude, but the UFC hasn't
he needed a ranked opponent. He needed one.
He hasn't. The UFC hasn't given. The Raves hasn't given. The UFC hasn't given Sugar enough because, he's.
That's the same thing with Patty. I feel like they need to do that with Patty also.
He's a little too.
He needs like the last two people ranked in the division. But keep going.
So, we just got a loss, guys. We had a Red Sox, Braves.
Oh, I love it.
Braves just won.
Okay.
Anyway, where were we? So, okay. Sean O'Malley. He's, in my opinion, one of my favorites, but it's just he's a popular fighter. He has everything. He talks. He talks. He has the appearance. He has the fighting style, the sluggish kind of look. I think I'm very happy for this fight because Pedro Martinez. What is it?
Pedro Martinez.
I was just said it wrong. I said
Pedro Munoz.
Pedro Munoz is.
He's a good fighter. He's just
Now here's the thing.
No,
I think
no.
he's.
I'm gonna defend him right now.
I don't know.
No, listen to me. He's lost to the top guys in the division. Okay, very hard matchups he's had. Okay?
I mean, I'll give you that. Yeah,
He's
you're right.
lost to Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz is a 2-time UFC bantamweight champion. Okay,
Mhm.
So I'm not gonna give him I'm not cutting him the slack. I think it's a good opponent. But if O'Malley wins this fight,
Oh, we have some.
he's in the top 5.
What is Pedro? What is his? What's his
10.
name? 10.
Yeah,
And what's Sugar?
he's gonna be at 12, 11-ish.
Isn't he at what is he now?
I think he's at 12.
He is. Oh, I thought he was at 14.
12, I think. All right, so that wraps up UFC 276. I'll do this one and then you do the rest.
This one little.
So Brandon Moreno versus, this is actually just confirmed at the time of recording this.
I didn't even know any of this stuff.
Brandon Moreno versus Kai Kara France. Now confirmed to be fighting for the interim flyweight belt at UFC 277 in August.
I'm praying. I really want Brandon Moreno to win this fight.
I love Brandon Moreno, but I'm going with Kai Kara France. Okay,
That's who you want to win?
Here's why. I want Davison Figueiredo to fight somebody now. In my opinion, I love the trilogy that they have going on right now. I love that they had the tie. Moreno won the title. I still love Moreno. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love the dude to death. But I don't want to see another Brandon Moreno for Figueiredo Moreno for right now, currently. Okay? I don't want to see that right now. I want him to fight Kai Kara, okay, France, and then unificate the titles. And then I say Moreno gets a tune-up fight. And then I think then I think it's time for the fourth fight. I just want the Figueiredo fight and Kai Kara France fight is better for me, in my opinion. It's more entertaining for the audience because I understand we have the first four, like quadro trilogy or whatever. But I just think Figueiredo needs I think he needs to change. I think the whole flyweight division needs to change. Because
I agree.
If Cody Garbrandt won that fight against Kai Kara France, then I think we would have a total different conversation right now. But he didn't. And there was a lot of hype of him going to flyweight, and we even bet on him losing, and I was right. He got knocked out. And now he's back at bantamweight.
We had money on that line.
Yeah, now he's back at bantamweight now. But yeah, I hope Kai Kara wins because I like the dude. He's nice and young.
I do like him too, actually, because
I watched his past two fights. He beat Askarov something, undefeated, and
And what did he won against?
and then he won against Cody. And then
that was a beautiful win. That was
great.
Is a beautiful win.
All right, you're doing these two.
All right,
Amanda Nunes.
Amanda Nunes versus Juliana Pena 2, rumored for UFC 277.
So they're doing Ultimate Fighter right now, and
I know. So
then
the Ultimate, so they're in the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
It's Nunes Pena for the both teams, and
so I think the rematch is definitely going to be in August because they said it's summer. And they're not doing the July card. I think that's too soon because I think they'll still be doing the Ultimate Fighter in July.
Who do you got for that fight?
I'm still going Pena. I'm going Pena on this one. You know why? Because here's the deal. I think Amanda Nunes is still the GOAT of MMA in women's. I still stand by that. But Juliana Pena is a scary, underrated fighter. Her striking is beautiful. I think her wrestling, she needs to work on a little bit because I've been studying her a lot lately for this rematch. I think this is going to be more competitive than the first fight. Nunes says she was sick, but I don't really believe that. All fighters make excuses if they lose. So I'm going to go with Pena for right now. I need Amanda Nunes. I need some training footage that shows me that Amanda Nunes has it back. I get it. She's jacked. I don't care. She lost that title.
Doesn't mean anything. Yeah, jacked doesn't mean anything. Conor McGregor's jacked, and he freaking got.
He's built like a refrigerator right now, but he hasn't fought in a year. I get it. He's got a broken foot or whatever. But, all right. Continue.
All right, next up after the Nunes fight, we got Paulo Costa versus Luke.
Big boy wine.
Agreed to fight for UFC 277.
So August. Paula. I think here's the deal. If he's not drinking wine and eating a bunch of food, then he's a good fighter.
Luke Rockhold.
But if he's doing that, then he sucks. I think Paulo Costa is going to knock him out. I think Paulo Costa is going to knock Luke Rockhold out. Luke Rockhold has not been in competition in the UFC for 2 years. He had an awful fight against Michael Bisping that lost him the title. And, I don't know if that was not 2 years ago, but I'm just saying. Luke Rockhold, I think, is out of his prime, and I think he's going to lose his fight by devastating fashion. I don't think the Tony Ferguson level, but I think he's going to lose by knockout. Second round knockout.
All right, we call it here now. After we are done with that, we're going to go into Daniel Cormier, announced to be UFC 2022 Hall of Fame
inductee.
He's got inducted.
Yeah, same class as Khabib, which I think they rushed both of them. I think Khabib and Daniel Cormier should have been next year's class. I think it was too soon.
Why? Who do you think this year?
I just think it was too soon.
You want to hear something really interesting?
Because
People are
here,
talking about?
hold on. Before you say that, GSP just got inducted into the Hall of Fame. He retired 5 years ago.
And he's he's in his overall one of.
Yeah, I call him the GOAT of MMA. Like, fight me if you want in the comments. But
easily the GOAT of MMA. But I'm just
I
gonna
think
say,
so.
people have a hot take on this one, right? Michael Bisping inducted in the.
Oh, I think he should be inducted.
You
Yeah.
think at some point?
Yes, 100%. I say Michael Bisping is one of the greatest middleweights ever. I think obviously Anderson Silva's the GOAT of the middleweight division. Obviously, but Michael Bisping just was a great fighter. They never should have sanctioned the fight against Kevin Gastelum. They never should have done that. I think he should have retired. I mean, he already thought of retiring after the St. Pierre fight, but they're like, "Hey, you want to fight him?" Because the fight fell through, and he's like, "Yeah, why not?" And then he got knocked out cold. He never should have taken that fight, and he even admitted that. But I think Daniel Cormier, and Khabib, I think they both got inducted, a little early. Let's keep going.
So we got Molly McCann. Is that pronounced right?
Yeah, Patty's friend.
Yeah, Patty's bestie versus Hannah Goldie, scheduled for the July 23 at the O2 Arena
in the UK.
in the UK. Do you think Patty's going to be on that card?
Yes, he is.
And who is he going to fight?
I don't know.
He's a lightweight fighter.
I didn't even know that until last week.
Oh, actually?
Yeah.
What do you think he was? Featherweight?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, I would think he looks like a featherweight fighter. He can probably fight in featherweight. But, lightweight fighter, there's a lot of people in the lightweight division. So it's not like he has plenty of people.
I'm going to cut you off for a minute, but when he gets to the top 10, I think he's going to start losing. Simple as that.
As of right now, he's very hyped right now in the UFC.
They're throwing like opponents that Hamza was fighting.
Exactly. That's what
Trash.
I would say. They're getting no names. He's getting people who
Exactly.
like you wouldn't know who it is. I feel like when he's gonna fight, let's say he fights. Let me think. Michael Chiesa, however.
Michael Chiesa.
Chiesa, is he in the welterweight or is he in lightweight?
I think he's a welterweight.
I would say that would be a cool matchup personally, if he was in lightweight. But I would guess I was wrong with that. But let me think. Because in the lightweight division, if I had to pick for someone to go into,
Cerrone.
Let's say this is the next fight that's going up, right?
Cerrone.
Who?
Cerrone.
I feel like it's just gonna be an easy win. I feel like Patty.
Tune-up fight. Get him to the top 10.
I feel like Patty.
Cerrone says he's got 2 more, and then he's retiring. He's got the one coming up in June, and then he's got 1 more after that. I think he should either.
Patty.
I think it should be either Patty or Kevin Holland.
Kevin Holland.
Mhm.
He's too
He already
good.
he called him out, and Cerrone said, "Sure, I'll do it."
Kevin Holland. He's too good.
I know he is. I love Kevin Holland. Anyway, this is your last one for MMA.
So the Alexander, I cannot never.
Gustafsson.
I can't pronounce that.
Gustafsson.
Alexander Gustafsson,
Gustafsson.
whatever, will be on the O2 card, which,
So I don't know his opponent as of right now.
AKA the dude that looks like Jake Paul.
That's what I always think. Light heavyweight, notable win. Glover Teixeira actually dominated him in that. I think he's gonna make a comeback. Personally, he's good. He's light heavyweight. Yeah, I'm right.
He could.
But yeah, That's really all I gotta say about him. All right, last thing, boxing.
It's the
Usually,
boxing. This is the last little.
we usually have a lot of boxing, but we don't today.
Yeah.
I'll do the first, and then you do the last two.
All right.
So this hurt me.
Yeah, I know. I was so annoyed when because here's the thing. I didn't watch this fight. Don't really have any care in this fight. So
No,
Right.
here's the deal. I love Canelo.
when I woke up and I saw this, who won that fight, I was like,
I
I
love
was
Canelo.
so surprised because Canelo, he's a good fighter.
But here's the deal, and I had this feeling. I didn't want to believe it, but I did have this feeling. So Canelo lost to Dmitry Bivol by unanimous decision. And here's the deal. Canelo's weight class is the 165 division up to the 168. He's got 4 belts, in cruiserweight and a bunch of other belts, whatever. And I don't think Canelo needed to do this. He went up to 175. That's 15 pounds. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
He's bloated. That's what I'd say. I knew he was going to lose this fight, kind of. I had a feeling because Bivol is an underrated champion. He is. He was 19-0 at the time. And, Canelo's 50-2 or whatever, or 1. Sorry. Last time he lost was to Floyd Money Mayweather, which he's actually fighting this weekend. Fun fact. And Anderson.
Who?
So Floyd's fighting this weekend.
Against who?
That's some random. And then Anderson Silva's fighting this weekend also.
Why don't anybody promote this stuff?
I don't know. It's like
Well,
it's like some crypto payment
Um,
option.
mhm.
That's why I don't know. It's weird. But anyways, back to
Is
Canelo.
Floyd Mayweather fighting for is it gonna be a real fight or is it gonna be
Yeah, it's gonna be a real fight.
finally?
It's an exhibition, but they said it's gonna be good.
Will we have a winner this time?
Yeah, we will. So Canelo, I mean, Bivol dominated him in my opinion, which a lot of people agreed with me. He got dominated. Canelo said he won 5 or 6 rounds. No, I think he won 3
I was
rounds.
watching the replays and I was like, I think he maybe won.
Bivol had great combinations on
I
Canelo.
think he maybe won
I said 3 rounds.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 rounds. And then, the judges were literally throwing Canelo a bunch of bones. And I'm just it was 3-point difference on the scorecards. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah. No.
Canelo lost that by a long shot. And here's the deal. He said no excuses. And I'm like, okay, that's respectable. Never fight again in that division. Don't even go for the rematch. I just say stay in your division.
Yes, because he's amazing in his.
Because he
division.
said, oh, I'll go fight Alexander Usyk. No, don't do that. After that performance, don't even go up to heavyweight. Don't even do
he would
that.
be able to.
Don't do that.
If
Why not?
anything, I feel like he's better. I think he'd be better off going down in weight than going up in weight.
I don't even want you to go there. No, thank you.
Yeah, no.
All right. You got the last 2, boy.
All right, we're on the last 2. We're with Ryan Garcia versus Isaac Cruz, ordered by the WBC. Of the winner will be guaranteed a shot for the 130-pound title shot, held by Devin Haney.
So this is title eliminator. So whoever loses this, they don't get the title.
Ryan Garcia.
I don't think Ryan Garcia is winning this.
Ryan Garcia, a popular fighter.
Overhyped. He's
So-
been fighting bums.
So with the
Bump.
with his
Bump.
last couple
Bump.
of fights that he said, backing out, saying he has to take a break, he has the whatever, when he had the recent fight that he won.
Yeah, I was watching it. And it was,
But the person he fight, the people who he's fighting, Owen said, bums.
and
just
here's the deal.
straight
I'm
up-
gonna put this comparison, and I know people aren't gonna like this. I put him as Tommy Fury, basically fighting bums constantly.
Okay, here's the thing. Tommy Fury, yes.
He
fights-
fought a tomato
fights-
can.
Fights no one's. But with Ryan Garcia probably got one pretty not well known but more known person. I think I
Yeah.
forget his name, but
Oh,
he fought
Luke something.
the guy who dropped him.
Yeah. I know what you're
With
talking.
he had blue shorts. That's all.
Yes, I know. I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name right
Well,
now.
he's like
Luke Campbell. Luke Campbell.
yes, Luke Campbell. He's the most probably well-known person
Yeah.
out of any
Well,
of the other
but
people.
no,
he's
here's the
fought.
deal. Isaiah Cruz is actually a really good fighter. He was on the Showtime card a couple months ago. I don't know what card exactly. I mean, he put a good. I think it was the Errol Spence and Ugas undercard. I mean, this is going to be a good fight. I think I got Cruz winning this one.
All right.
This is a step up for Ryan Garcia, and if he wins, good on him. But
This will really prove.
this will prove if he's really
if he
can hang out with the
deserves-
top dogs.
if he deserves the credit that he has.
Yeah.
All right, next will be the last one we have with ending off with a bang. Jake Paul returns.
Fan favorite on this channel.
Yeah, Jake Paul returns in August 13th. Close to my birthday.
I'm happy. I want to know his opponent though. My prediction: Tommy Fury.
Yep, I was just about to say my prediction is Tommy Fury as well.
I think
he's saying this stuff like, "Oh, I'm not gonna fight Tommy Fury after this." I know I had his chance.
I've been watching too much Wade.
He had too much. He had his chance. I'm like, okay. First thing, you had a rematch, so it's not even like you fought a dude better than the person you fought before. You fought Tyron Woodley twice to replace him.
Sure.
It's not like, okay, if I'd understand if he's like, I'm not gonna fight him, and he fights someone who's better. Like, let's say he fights, someone a step better than.
Don't
than
fight
Tommy.
Michael Bisping. Like, no, don't go after Michael
because
Bisping.
he's like, all right, we're right here. He's up here. Michael Bisping's like down here. He doesn't box. Don't even go.
Bro,
with the MMA.
he doesn't. He's got 2 replaced knees. He's got 1 eye. Like,
Quit the box and MMA stuff. I need you to box
like,
boxers.
I'm ready for Anderson Silva's the only one I would actually be like,
Okay, yeah, but he's been boxing, and
that's what I'm saying.
like I understand that because he's been boxing. He's been doing good with that.
Yes,
It's just
he knocked out Tito, which I loved.
He's been fighting the MMA people. I mean, Tyron Woodley.
Respectable
first
UFC
fight-
champion, top 3 welterweight of all time. I would say Kamaru's 2, Tyron Woodley's 3, and then GSP.
The first fight, I'm gonna give it to Tyron Woodley. He did a good job. He didn't get
That was a good
knocked.
fight.
He didn't. It was
No.
a pretty back and forth fight. With the second fight, when he got fully KO'd,
I mean, no, but Woodley was winning that fight
easily When
until the
cut-
knockout.
He cut it. Jake Paul, Woodley elbowed him in the head.
Yeah, which I mean, good job.
Which got
And he
in his
took him down
eyes.
also.
Yeah, that was crazy. But here's the thing: if he's gonna keep getting cuts on his face, the tissue is gonna break, and
Yeah,
It's gonna
Nate Diaz.
it's gonna lead into
More injuries.
when the blood's pouring down his face. I'm not gonna try to get graphic. It's hard to see when you're boxing.
Yeah.
So when I saw that, I was like, oh no. If we keep getting more like punches and it's breaking skin, then it's not good. It's not going to be good for his seeing in the
Well,
fight.
back to the Jake Paul and Tommy fight. I think Jake beats him.
Oh, I agree, because here's the thing. Jake's okay. So like he said, he's like, oh, I'm not going to fight Tommy Fury because I'm better than him. You can't say that because you fought the exact same dude who you fought before.
But
Yes, he was winning.
here's
He was-
why I say Jake would win. I've been watching Jake in all of his boxing fights, and I watched all of his training footage. The dude has insane power, good combinations, a very good right hand, and some dirty uppercuts. The
I think
dude
if
is scary.
If he needs to work on something, it's speed.
Yeah.
He's a little more like sluggish when he punches and not like as
Yeah.
fast, but
But he's got nice combinations, though. That's,
yes, very good. And power
nice
is
power.
a big one.
Nice power. And also, I've noticed that he's gained a little weight, which Tommy Fury. That's why.
That's one reason, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope they'll announce it's, I hope the announcement's coming soon.
I feel like it's gonna be around June. It'll be announced in June.
I think actually sooner than that.
It's
I think
in
end of May. End of May. Yeah, because
It'd be awesome to see it.
it's usually like a 3 months build up, usually.
Yeah,
So-
I guess.
All right, well, that's all we got for today. So, that was great. We're back. This is probably an hour episode. Let's go.
Could be even, about an hour probably.
But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure to follow the Twitter, Instagram, subscribe.
I gotta follow the Twitter. I didn't even know about
subscribe,
that stuff.
turn on the notifications, like, comment if you don't agree with us, or we'll even talk. DM us on Instagram.
Yeah. We had all of them.
I always answer my DMs, so
Yes, we answered I answered the DMs.
yeah,
That's
make
pretty
sure
much
to
it.
check out everything else, and that's all we got for today.
This has been the halftime podcast. And,
Yeah.
we'll see you next. We'll see you next week.
We're clocking out. See you guys.
If there's any thought that I think of me for a little support, out of time I need, it'll be enough. Not a chance. Driving here to town, can't see or hear. Kill communication, stepping off the grid just to let me know. So many got my time. Being here before, lovers winter freeze, summer's burn, shut down on the sneeze. Take what you learn, what's me. If there's any more that I think of me, could you feel no different? After half a week, it'll be enough. Not a chance.